About time I got some work out of her.
Trying to be funny this morning, aren't you?
Pretty much. It's a hobby. Turn toward me.
What?
Oh, the viewers are going to just love your forehead.
They covered in paint?
Something like that.
Okay. Why don't you actually start the video?
Hi guys. Welcome back to PC Guys Off-Grid-Cabin, where the work is never done, but we're doing it just for fun. I'm giving Mrs. PC Guy a hard time this morning. She's got paint right across the top of her forehead.
He put it there.
I did not. You did that all on your own. So, as you can see, we're painting today. Now, back before the winter storm, we started on this painting business, and we painted the front side of the cabin. We started on the end, and we run out of paint. And we knew that winter storm that hit Texas was coming. And we're like, we want to get some paint on this thing of some sort. So I had that gallon of red paint that we got from the Oops We Goofed bin at Lowe's. I mean, hey, it was $9 for a gallon of paint. And we said, well, we'll just put it up on here and at least protect the wood a little bit until we can get back and get after it again. Well, it's not covering quite as good as we'd like. Mrs. PC Guy's over shaking her head no. All in the world it is this grain of this wood. You know, you have to get that paint down into the pores and everything because it's such an irregularly textured surface to paint on. It just takes a lot of paint to get in there and get it into all those little nooks and crannies. And then I'm having to go back with a paintbrush and get it into the grooves between it. So it's a kind of a mundane task, but if you don't do it correctly, then a year or two from now I'll be pulling wood off the side of the building and replacing it because we didn't get no paint on it. And at about $32 a sheet, you don't want that to happen. Oh, but yeah, I did get some work out of Mrs. PC Guy over here.
I ain't through.
No, you ain't through.
We just switched positions temporarily.
Switch positions because somebody has to run the camera. She reminds me of my son, always getting in a hurry. She wants to go over the maximum amount of space, and sometimes you just got to stay in a small area and run the roller over it multiple times in order to get all that paint down in those grooves. Now I'm just take you around the other side of the building because I want to show you a little something here about why it is that you don't want to take and buy cheap paint. So stay tuned, I'm going to take you around there and show you this little issue. Okay, so when we bought this cabin, I guess almost 5 years ago now?
Yep.
The first thing we did was we took the the swing doors off of it, the old barn type swing doors, and we enclosed this section here and put a door in it. As soon as we did that, we painted the siding right here. Come over here and take a look. I want you to see this. Look at this versus this right here. This paint is not actually that much older than what this is. This paint is faded and it needs to be repainted. And that's on my drawing board. But this is what you get into when you buy cheap substandard paint that's not of good quality. Believe me, you're not saving money in the long run by buying El Cheapo Walmart paint and putting on a building. I don't know what brand this is, but this is Valspar over here. It's been on there 5 years. Well, you can obviously see the difference. So I'm going to get back on this painting business, and in a little bit I'm going to show you my setup for getting some electricity in there off the generator. I think you're going to like this, so stay tuned. Alright, so we got all our painting done. Well, let me rephrase that. We ran out of paint again. But we got the majority of our painting done, at least for the time being. We'll pick back up on it in a week or two once we kind of get some other things accomplished. And we got the majority of it done. But I want to show you what we've rigged up as far as our generator is concerned. One of the problems we had up here was that when we needed to run the generator, we didn't have a real good way of doing all that. Well, I'm just going to show you what we rigged up here, and I think you'll like it. I have this box that I put on the side of the building here. Let me open it up, and I want you to see what's in there. That plug will allow me to plug an extension cord directly into it. Go straight from the generator straight to this and plug in. I'll take you inside and show you how we set up the inside of the house with it. Alright, so what we do is we ran 12 gauge Romex from the exterior plug over to this plug in here. That way I can plug my battery charger in and charge up the batteries when it's a cloudy day or something along those lines where we need more juice. From here, we ran Romex cable across into the kitchen area. So I've got a plug here now. And what that's going to do is allow me to, if I need to run my microwave oven, those microwave ovens take a lot of electricity. And it will zap the batteries. So I got a plug here now that I can plug in my microwave oven if I need to run it. Now next up, I'm going to come off from here, run Romex up through the attic over to the back window, and what that's going to do is allow me to plug my air conditioner in. I haven't done that yet, but it's going to start getting hot, and we're going to have to take and get that done pretty quick. But I've also got some other wiring to do in here. I'm going to put a light fixture on the ceiling, have a light switch over on the wall by the front door. I've got a couple more plugs I need to put in here that will run from the solar array in, so we can charge things like phones and things of that nature, and plug our laptop computer into it, and it'll run all that with no problems. So let me have a sit down with you right quick, and we'll bring you up to date on the cancer thing. Alright folks, welcome back, man. I appreciate you watching if you've paid attention so far. Cancer. I got a little bit of bad. Well, it's not been all bad. I don't think we've had any good news, really, have we?
Nope.
Let me start at the beginning here with this. Once we got our cancer diagnosis, the oral surgeon referred me to MD Anderson, Houston. And that wound up being a disaster. I wound up playing phone tag with this guy for about 3 days down there, and then finally they called me, some woman called me from MD Anderson. She says, well, they turned down your insurance. Basically, they said my insurance was junk, and they wasn't going to accept it. And I'm like, I kind of lost my temper a little bit with the woman, and I says, so what do you expect me to do? You expect me to just go home and die, or what? And she's like, no, you can apply for financial assistance. Here's the number, call them up, and they'll walk you through it. I'm like, okay. So I called them up. They sent me, emailed me a link to their page where you can apply. They wanted everything under the sun. They wanted, of course, a copy of my driver's license, copy of my lease agreement. They wanted a copy of my this year's tax return. They wanted 3 months worth of bank statements. I mean, you name it, they wanted it. Mama has a dog. Nobody called for a Charlie. They wanted just all sorts of stuff. And I wound up overnighting them about 25 pages worth of documents. I mean, it was a lot. Then I started playing phone tag with them and couldn't get a response back from them. So Thursday, this past Thursday, the phone rings and it's MD Anderson, and the lady says, your request for financial assistance has been denied. And I'm like, wait a minute, we sat here and played phone tag, and I sent you all these documents. Now we've been playing around for nearly 2 weeks. 2 weeks I don't exactly have, by the way. For you to tell me, oh, we just ain't gonna help you. She says, yeah, contact LBJ Hospital in Houston, and they'll help you. I'm like, okay. So I called the oral surgeon. He's like, you've got to be seen like now. This is not something I can play with. So Friday morning, I showed up at the emergency room over at LBJ, and they went in, they took me in there. They says, well, you got to apply for the gold card before we can send you over to the oncology department. So I got their application, filled it out, and Friday afternoon overnighted it to them. So hopefully they'll get it Monday morning, which is tomorrow. So I gotta grab my phone here because the exact diagnosis that I've gotten from the results of the biopsy. It's one of these real long words. So I'm going to read this off to the viewers. I actually have a really good link that I'm going to post in the description that kind of explains what this is in more detail. The diagnosis was high-grade diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. Well, that's a mouthful, ain't it? In more ways than one. So that's what it is. High-grade diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. Uh, as it stands right now, the area is right here. I mean, you can obviously see it. It's actually swelled up more since the last video that I put out. I've been losing teeth. I've lost all my teeth on this side of my mouth, on the upper jaw, because of the damage to the bone structure underneath. But something really good happened a couple of days ago, and I've got to share this with you. And I was actually very humbled by it. I went out to, because I'm still working, you know, there's no point in me stopping working right now. But I went out to this place, and I'm not real fond of delivering to these people, because, you know, I drive a truck. Because of the setup they've got over there, it's rather a pain in the rear to deliver to. But I went over there, and the guy, I was talking to this guy, and he had it in his mind that I had delivered over to his new location over there before, and I'm like, I kept telling him I hadn't, which I haven't, but, you know, arguing with the customer's never a good idea. So I just kind of let him think that I'd bet, you know, if that's what he wants to believe, okay. And I just kind of played it off, and I said, you know, maybe my memory's not that good or something, you know. That, you know, I just said you know, I'm having a few health issues. Now, I really wasn't going to elaborate with him. But he asked me what was going on, and so I kind of just pointed up here at my jaw, and I said, you know, I've got cancer in my upper jaw. And the guy took me, said something to me that I wasn't expecting. But he just looked at me, he says, you know what, I'd like to pray with you. And you know, at first I thought he meant that he would just pray for me in private. No, he wanted me to come over and stand with him right there and pray on the spot with him. And, well, I'm never turning down prayer in this situation, not from anyone. And so I was extremely humbled that someone that I didn't know very well was willing to sit down and pray with me for healing. And, well, you know, I feel blessed by it. I absolutely did. And very humbled. As it stands right now, it's a wait and see game. I just know that I don't have a whole lot of wait and sees left. I've got to get in and see these oncology people as soon as possible. Mama, you have a dog.
I have a dog. He said, I want to be on camera too, Daddy.
But make no mistake about it, that's her dog. Aren't you?
Okay.
Hey, I just had to look at him. He kind of just growled at me.
Stop it.
That's how that works. There is, he lets me love him, pet him, all that good stuff. But that's his mama. And he lets me know right quick like that how things are going to work. Even though he's spoiled rotten, it's her fault. I would appreciate it. Hey, prayer is always appreciated. And, because I believe in the power of prayer. And I know that God has a plan for me. God has a plan for Carolyn. And God has a plan for you too. We may not understand it, but there's a plan out there for all of us. And I believe that with all my heart. Anyway, I appreciate everyone that has taken the time out to listen to me. Aren't you a distraction? I appreciate your prayers, and we appreciate all the viewers watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Tomorrow's not guaranteed to any of us, and thank you for watching me, and until next time.